But today, I am going up the Magruder corridor. This is one of the most remote and wildest places you can take a vehicle in the lower 48. You know, wildfires are a thing. How would you like to spend your whole summer living up there? Was murdered here. They wanted that $25,000. I've made it to the end of the road, to what they call paradise. It is beautiful here. Good morning, Idaho. I'm here not far outside of Elk City, Idaho. And today I have a very special adventure that I'm going on. Solo, I might add. Kathy's still getting her ankle looked at, but reports are good. She's seeing some improvement with a steroid injection. But today I am going up the Magruder corridor. This is one of the most remote and wildest places you can take a vehicle in the lower 48. There's a 3 million acre wilderness area surrounding it, and there's this one corridor that cuts through it where mechanized travel is allowed. And I'm taking my Winnebago Revel, and the two of us are going up and over this 100+ mile route through some of the most rugged parts of Idaho. So let's hit the road now, and I'll tell you more about it on our way up. Okay, I've made it to Elk City, Idaho, but it is a good stop if you're going onto or off of the Magruder corridor if you need to pick up any last minute things. But this is it. This is the last little glimpse of modern society that I'm gonna see for over 100 miles. Water. I've made it here to the Red River Ranger Station, and it is closed since '98, but they do leave open a water tap over here in the parking lot. All right, now that I got water, let's get on up the corridor. The forest here is green and lush and beautiful. I don't think that's going to be the case for the whole route. There have been some wildfires that have ravaged this area. Right here is the sign for the boundary of the Nez Perce National Forest. This is going to be something I'm going to be in for a long ways through here, and eventually it's going to turn into a wilderness area. All right, let's keep pushing on and get into the good stuff. right, the road has been pretty nice so far. Like, it's a beautifully graded road, but I'm starting now to get into where there's a little washboard. I don't feel like I absolutely have to air down, but I think I am going 100 miles almost on dirt, and it's gonna be nice just to let some air pressure out and improve the ride quality and not be bouncing around so much. So I'm gonna drop the air in my BFG KO3s. Let's see, what do I wanna drop them to? This is always the thing, there's not an absolute right number. It's kind of based on conditions. I think this is gonna be a little more high speed, just eating up the washboard a little bit. So I think I'm gonna drop it to 30 in the front, 40 in the back, and run with them like that. One of my favorite things about airing down is these Apex rapid dump valve stems. Now, mine have been all over North and South America, and they're a little gummed up. So rather than wrestling with them, I just found it's easier to use a pair of pliers to pull the little handle. There's not a lot there to grab onto, and this just seems to work really good, as you can see. So I'm gonna drop this one to 30. Wow, it's at 30. That goes quick. Now, the valve cap actually locks the valve stem from being able to open. And so you want to get that on just nice and snug with your fingers. All right, just got to do that 3 more times. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to take this one down to 40. Let's see what that is. That's 50, 10 more to go. These valve stems do release air fast. So you want to kind of first few times get a feel for exactly, you know, is it just it's just a few seconds to dump, you know, 10, 20 pounds. Ten more. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm aired down to 30 in the front, 40 in the back. Let's keep going. Should be much smoother now. Wildfires, wow. Get a really good sense of how massive they can be. Now, I've lived in the Western US most of my adult life, and you know, wildfires are a thing. It happens every late summer, you know. Some place that I'm usually just surprised by bursts into flames. It always seems like such a tragedy. Out here, I've been driving through these just burnt forests for, I don't know, the last 20 miles or so. Just goes on and on and on. When I got up on top of the hill here, I couldn't believe it. It's just as far as I could see. It was just burnt trees. Now, the forest is regrowing. It's coming back, and it is a natural cycle. You know, it's something that when there's a forest near you that you've always loved and you have a connection to and it burns, it feels like just this terrible tragedy, but it is part of the natural cycle. It is pretty surreal though to be surrounded by miles, square miles of just burnt forests with just dead trees standing like this. Now you think when there's a forest fire that everything just burns up and it's just ash. Well, a lot of times just the foliage is what burns, kills the tree, and it just leaves all these trees, they're still standing. And I was warned that if you're up here on the Magruder and a big windstorm comes through, it can topple hundreds, if not thousands, of these trees across the road. And they said that it's really a good idea to bring a chainsaw, plenty of fuel, and be able to cut logs if you need to get out of here. And I'm seeing examples of this all along the road where people have cut logs that have fallen across the road. I mean, in fact, they're just right here. So it must happen all the time. Now, I'm not carrying a chainsaw. I kind of wished I was. I do have my silky saw. I do have a hand saw. And I do have my winch, which gives me the ability to maybe drag a log off the road if I needed to. But I can really see how this would happen here. So it's pretty cool getting to have this experience on the Magruder to see this kind of devastation, if you will, from wildfires. But I also got to remember, it is part of the natural process, and it's just what forests are meant to do. And you know, most people would come to a place like this in their adventure van or overland truck or whatever it is, and they want to see beautiful, pristine, old growth forests, and those are the most beautiful. But this is a really good reminder of what fire can do, how destructive it can be, to make sure your campfires are put out, and also that this is just a natural process that a lot of time is just started by lightning. There are some fire lookout stations down here that I'm going to get to go visit, and this is exactly what they're trying to prevent, is giant wildfires like this. If they can see the smoke or see the fire and be able to get a fire crew out there quickly before it grows into a monster like this, then maybe that's better, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's why we have such massive wildfires these days, is because we've protected the forest so much and we've suppressed so many wildfires that then such a fuel load builds up that now today when we do have a fire, it is a big, hot, massive wildfire. Now, I'm no expert in this. I have friends who are. I'm going to definitely have some questions for them next time I see them. This is really neat to get to come out here and witness this for myself. All right, just another reason to come up here and explore the Magruder. All right, I'm going to keep going and we're going to see what's around the corner. Now, another thing I'm seeing here on the Magruder is there are little campgrounds all over the place. Some of them are just pullouts on the side of the road, but some of them are like this spot here at Granite Springs, where it actually has a bathroom and a few places to park. Now, I imagine this was really a beautiful place before the wildfires, but now it's kind of right in the heart of what was ravaged. And so I imagine it's not the most popular spot to stay at these days. But it's just a good example that these places do exist back here. And if you come back here, you're wondering where to camp, you're gonna find places like this. It's just a nice place to get off the side of the road, out of the dust, and set up a camp. We made it to somewhere really cool. This right here is the Green Mountain Lookout Tower. This is a fire lookout station where they can see miles and miles and miles around and hopefully be able to spot wildfires before they get going. It looks very much closed right now, so let's check it out a little bit closer. Well, this would be a great place for a lookout. I'm just standing at ground level and I can see what seems like forever. How would you like to spend your whole summer living up there, looking out for fires? Seems like it'd take a special person, but also seems like it'd be a pretty fun job. I hear some other vehicles coming. Let's see, it's probably some people in some side-by-sides, I would guess. Well, I guess if you live and work there, you go to the bathroom here. What a little walk down the 3-4 stories of stairs to get to the outhouse that's just down the hill here. This outhouse looks like it's in great shape. It's maybe even recently been rebuilt. Looks better than the lookout station. That'll work. Nice toilet paper stocked. Well, I gotta tell you, it's really nice here at the Green Mountain Fire Lookout Tower. I've even found a nice level spot right here for the Revel van. And I'm considering spending the night right here. There's no sign saying otherwise. And honestly, I love the big wide open views that I've got here. It's cool being by the old tower and the clouds. And there's a storm brewing there off in the distance. I'm hearing a little thunder. Hopefully there's not gonna be a lot of lightning, but thunder is good. And I don't know, this seems like a good place to maybe end my first night on the Magruder corridor. It's a long ways over here, but so far this is exactly what I was hoping it would be. There's a lot of solitude, a lot of adventure and exploring. It has been perfect for the Revel van. There's been nothing that I've run across that's been even remotely challenging from a four-wheel drive standpoint, but it's just been great exploring. And I can see forever. I think I can see all the way to Washington, and then I can probably see all the way to Montana over here. So I think I've decided I'm gonna spend the night right here on the top of Green Mountain and take in these views, the mountains off in the distance, the clouds. It's really spectacular up here. So that's it for day one on the Magruder corridor, Idaho. You know, they say this is one of the most remote places you can go, and it's feeling that way right now. All right, guys, I'm gonna have a good evening here, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, Green Mountain, Magruder corridor, right here with the big old fire tower. Well, I had this whole place to myself up here on top of Green Mountain. It was a wonderful night. It was nice and cool, clear. You know, there were some clouds blowing in at sunset. As soon as the sun went down, those went away. The stars came out bright, and it was just a really nice night hanging out up here. But I'm about to push off. I'm about to keep on going east. We've got some cool stops today, so let's get going. I made it to the Poet Creek Campground, and I'm just outside of the campground right now. I'm gonna look over here off this bridge and see if there's any swimming potential here. I would like nothing more than to go for a little dip in a river or a stream or a swimming hole. Oh, the water looks beautiful, but it is pretty shallow. Well, I think for sure I'm doing lunch here. I'm gonna make a quick sandwich, probably just keep trucking. Going up this mountain. All right, I made it up here to Dry Saddle. This is quite a dry saddle. It's way up here. I gotta tell you, I am loving these Vortex binoculars. I recently got these and they are so sharp, so small and light, and it's great for me scouting the trail up ahead. And from this vantage here on the Dry Saddle, I can see, I don't know, the next 10 miles or so. It's pretty fun just sitting up here and getting a really good look at things with these new binoculars. All right, Dry Saddle, this is a nice little stop. If you're coming through here, this would be a good place to do lunch. You could even camp here. There's a little campground right over here. I'm just in the big pullout, but amazing views out here. It is gorgeous. Well, I jumped out here at Sabe Vista Point just to have a look around. This actually would be a great place to camp, but it's a little early in the day for me to be stopping to camp. But I'm definitely gonna make a note of this for next time I'm over here. This could be a good one if you got here at the right time of day. This is right in the middle of these ledge roads, the steepest bits that I've been driving on so far, and it's gotten quite rocky. I'm still haven't put it in four-wheel drive yet. It hasn't been anything that challenging. It's getting there. So there's a lot of downed wood. People have cut it out with my boats on top and being taller than most vehicles that come through here. I kind of got to watch that because there's some snags falling down. I've been able to get around all of them without having to stop and deal with it, but they're here, and it could be a problem if you're a tall vehicle like myself. But gosh, it's in the mid 70s. It's just a nice little breeze, and the scenery is just beautiful back here. I guess I'll keep pushing on to the east. I'm in a fresh burn zone. The trees are all black at the bottom. They still have bark on them that's kind of in the process of peeling off. This whole area has been kind of ravaged by wildfires. Man, I'm going through miles and miles and miles at a time of just burned up forests. Also, wouldn't be a bad idea if you're coming back here to have a saw, or even better, a chainsaw. Now, I don't travel with a chainsaw. I don't even own a chainsaw, but this is the first time I've really thought it could be a good idea, because there are many logs that have fallen across the road and people have cut them out and drug them off to the side. I'm kind of reaping the benefits of their work, but I think you could come through here at any moment and have a freshly fallen log across the road. It's going to take a while for me to cut through it with my hatchet and my silky saw. I could probably do it, but it sure would be nice to have a chainsaw. Almost all the locals I'm talking to who are back in here are traveling with chainsaws, just for that very reason. So fingers crossed I don't need one. If a big windstorm comes in, then that could change pretty quickly. But so far, so good. All right, I've made it to Observation Point. And I can say, yeah, there's a lot to observe from up here. Let's see as I walk over here to the edge. This whole area has just been ravaged by wildfires. I don't know what to think of it. Parts of this trip have been really amazing and beautiful, and parts of it are just kind of monotonous, driving through dead forests. There's been definitely some really good highlights of beauty, like on Green Mountain. I thought it was really spectacular. But some of the terrain I'm going through today is just dead tree. I mean, just millions and millions of dead trees. It is growing back, and I think probably in 50 years it's going to be beautiful again if it doesn't burn up again. But it's kind of a sign of maybe where the West is right now. We're having bigger, hotter, more intense fires every year. This trip has been good. I'm glad I'm on it, but it's definitely not exactly what I thought it was going to be. There is a campground right across the road. Maybe I'll look at staying there tonight. Observation Point. This is pretty beautiful. Found a nice little camp here right at Observation Point Campground. I think this is gonna work fine. The temperatures are cool, it's about 70 degrees up here, I love that. It's been a big day of driving, I'm kind of tired, and looking forward to just kicking back, enjoying time here. I think it's gonna be great. Now this is what I'm talking about, a little hammock time. Wow, I'm here working in the van and a little storm blew in. We've got lightning, thunder, and now it's raining. I don't know about you, but I just love a good thunderstorm in the mountains in the summer, as long as it doesn't erupt this whole area into a forest fire. Okay, another afternoon thunderstorm just rolled through, and now the sun is setting. It is that kind of damp, cool feeling here, which is really nice. All right, I'm gonna hang out here tonight. It's gonna be a good place to sleep. And tomorrow we'll be back at it and we're going to paradise. Good morning, Observation Point. What a great camp this was. It feels good to be here in the forest. I feel rested, rejuvenated, ready to hit the trail again today. I'm gonna push off here very shortly and we're gonna keep going eastbound. Well, if you're like me, you never want to have a trail like this named after you. The Magruder corridor is named after Lloyd Magruder, who in 1863 was murdered here. Actually, not right here. This is where the sign is. It's about 3 miles as the crow flies on the ridge directly that way. He was traveling with some companions to watch $25,000 of cash that he was bringing from, I think, Idaho back to Montana. And his traveling companions decided they wanted that $25,000 and they killed him, a few of the other people. They shot the horses and the pack mules that they had. They threw them all over a cliff and these guys took off with the money. Well, they were later captured in California. They were brought back to the Idaho territory where they were then convicted and hung. This was the first trial in the Idaho territory, and because of this, this trail is now named after him. Before that, it was called the Nez Perce Trail, and it was one the natives used for who knows how long to go to the buffalo hunting grounds in Montana. So, interesting facts about this trail, and people have been using this for a very long time. It's pretty amazing that I can come up here in my Winnebago Revel, drive this amazingly scenic route with incredible camping, and do something that people have been doing for many, many centuries. So it's always fun to kind of get a glimpse into the history of these places, to learn why is this trail here? You know, who started it? Look at this, you know, they found the way through these mountains and it's stuck today. And I am surrounded on both sides by wilderness. There's only about 300 feet, including the road, that allows us to drive through the wilderness. Now, wilderness by designation means a non-mechanized area that's set aside for conservation. It's unusual that you can get this deep into wilderness by a vehicle. Normally it'd be a pack animal or hiking or something to that effect. It can't be any mechanized travel, not even bicycles. Being this deep in a wilderness and getting this kind of access to all the hiking trails that come off of this road are pretty special. And this Magruder corridor gives us a glimpse into the wilderness by being able to use something like our Revel van to get here. Here we are, deep in the wilderness, and I'm really trying to soak it up. All right, I'm looking off here in the distance and I can see the trail switchbacking down the mountain below me. I think we're going down, and I think we're gonna eventually hit some rivers. And to be quite honest, I'm really excited for that because I am looking forward to a swimming hole. So let's do it. Let's go down the hill here and we're gonna see if we can find the Selway River. Here we are at the Selway Bridge and the famous Selway River. I'm really glad to be here at the Selway Bridge. I just crossed over and I had to jump out and come back here and take a peek at this river. This is one of the famous rivers of the West in that it has wild and scenic designation. That makes it a really special river for people like me who are river runners who want to go down this in their kayaks or their rafts. This is a classic one. This is one I haven't done yet, and it is very high on my list to do. Now we're here in the height of summer. The river is at its lower level, so it wouldn't be great paddling today, but here in the spring, this river is awesome. This is also kind of a sign that I'm getting to the eastern side of the Magruder corridor, and that makes me a little sad. But this also signifies that I am at the Paradise Road, and I'm gonna hang a left here off the Magruder. So let's go on down here. Let's go to Paradise. I've made it to the end of the road, to what they call Paradise. And I can see why they call this Paradise. It is beautiful here. Well, this is the Paradise Campground. Yes, I'm definitely jumping in right there. Coming down off the mountain from Observation Point, it definitely warmed up. And I am about to soak myself in this cool creek. The water is crystal clear. It's gonna be a little on the chilly side, but that's gonna feel great because it is almost 80 degrees right now. And that's hot by my standards. I found some really cool water. It might not be very deep, but it's deep enough. This is great. The water is crystal clear, nice and cool, but not crazy cold, and I just love it. So a number of years ago, Kathy and I went to Vancouver Island and spent, I don't know, over a month on the island. And we found the most amazing places to go wild swimming. And that's in fact where we've coined the name, wild swimming, was you're driving around your van, you see a little creek, and you find a little swimming hole to jump into. And that is wild swimming. And it has to be in wild water. It can't be in a swimming pool or something like that. That wouldn't count. But in any kind of creek or river or lake, that's wild swimming. And it's become one of our favorite things to do while we're exploring in our van, is to find places to do some wild swimming. But now that I'm down here by the Selway, I've struck gold. This is really great, and it's a perfect way to spend a hot afternoon. So I'm gonna splash around here for a while, just totally relax, get the dust off from the corridor, and hang out here at a place called Paradise. I think it was properly named. Well, it's been a day of, I went swimming twice. I had a run-in with a rattlesnake. That was exciting. This part of Idaho is just gorgeous. It feels really nice to be back down here in the trees, and it is just so lush and green. The clouds have come back in the afternoon like they have every day since I've been here. It's cooling off a bit, and it is just so nice to be back in here. This is definitely a place that I'm gonna return to. I like to come here on my motorcycle and ride the whole BDR. I'm putting that on my checklist. It's like up here somewhere towards the top. But it's been a wonderful day. I think now I'm gonna start thinking about some dinner and calling it a night, because tomorrow's our final day, day 4 on the Magruder corridor. And who knows what we're gonna find. You know, this whole trip has been really interesting, and I haven't really known what's around the next corner other than what my Onyx maps shows me. I guess that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, day 4, Magruder corridor. I am driving out of Paradise right now. Had a great night. Today's the day. We're gonna push on into Montana. The road has gotten considerably better. I'm seeing more people over on this side. This has been a great trip. All right, I think I'm gonna go up here and I am looking for a place to have breakfast. All right, I'm gonna stop right here for breakfast. Let's check it out. Just a wide spot on the side of the road. But look at this. All right, I'm on the side of the road, on the side of the river. It's a great place to have breakfast. Just gonna do a little granola and yogurt here, keep it simple. This is one of the things I like most about having a Winnebago Revel is being able to just stop in a beautiful place, have everything I want and need at my fingertips. That's pretty special. What a great way to start the day. I just took the turn off to Hell's Half Acre. This is a fire lookout station that's about 3,000 feet above the road below on the Magruder corridor. And so far it's a pretty nice dirt road that's narrow and has some pretty big drop-offs, but it is beautiful up here. So I'm gonna go up to the fire lookout station. I think this one is manned. Could be a fun place to just explore and get a good view of where I've come from. Well, made it up to Hell's Half Acre. What a nice drive that was. It's kind of rocky and narrow and definitely steep in places, but it was a good one. So I've made it all the way up the road to Hell's Half Acre. This is the lookout station. This one is manned, which is really fun to chat with this couple who spent decades up here and surrounding ones and hear their stories, and what a cool lifestyle that must be. Thousands and thousands of acres of wilderness is your front and backyard. It is so amazing up here. The views are just panoramic. You can see all the way to Montana from up here. You can see back to where I've came from on the corridor. And this is just really neat being up here. Okay, what a good stop this was. I'm so glad I drove up here. Check in with the lookouts. Make sure that you're not invading their personal privacy, anything like that. But if they, are looking for company, then you can have some great conversations with these people and learn about a really interesting lifestyle. I learned a lot about this area. I don't know if there's anybody who knows about this area better than these guys, because they're up here living in it 24/7 all summer long. Check out the lookouts. I'm really becoming a big fan of these lookouts. I always thought they were cool, but I never really had any firsthand experience. And Now, after coming up to a couple of them, I'm intrigued. This is a really awesome thing. And they do a really important job to keep our forests safe and therefore keep people safe from these massive fires that we've been having. So kudos to these guys. Kudos to lookouts, and this has been really fun learning coming up here. All right, we're gonna head back down from Hell's Half Acre, and we are gonna go back down into the valley and keep going over the corridor. All right, we are off the dirt. Made it to the blacktop. You know, it's been 3.5 days on dirt, and I like being on the dirt. But like I've said before, it is often nice getting back on the blacktop, being able to go a little faster, a little smoother, a little less worries, right? That's also what makes the dirt fun. So I'm gonna air up right here, right now. And we still have a ways to go on the Magruder corridor, but I think going this way, the roads are gonna be a little nicer. So let's air up and keep going. Ooh, that jiggled loose. All right, this is my air up kit. It holds all my hoses and gauges, and I'll keep this one all set up, ready to go. This is a digital ARB inflator, and it's hooked to my hose, and I'm gonna plug this into our onboard air, which is part of our Agile off-road onboard air system. And it is right down here. Got an outlet right here. And there it is. We have air. All right, now on this one, I gotta go from 40 to 70, because I run 70 in the back, 50 in the front. One of the nice parts about not airing down all the way like I would if I was truly off-road in rougher places is it's a little quicker to air back up. When I got back from the Pan American, I put on a set of these BFG KO3s. I'd been running KO2s for decades, really. And I gotta tell you, I'm really enjoying the KO3s. I think they're quieter on the highway. They seem to do just as good off-road that I can tell so far. I haven't had them in any ice or snow yet, but they're a nice ride and they're quiet, which I think is the difference between these and the KO2s. But all in all, they seem to be wearing good. I'm about ready to do the first rotation on them, and I've been really happy with them. So 5 more PSI to go. All right, there it is. 70 PSI. All right, gotta do that 3 more times. I won't bore you guys with that, but let's do it. I'm all aired up now. I'm rolling again. I got 50 in the front, 70 in the back, and we are on the blacktop. Well, 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 look what I found right here. I'm at Nez Perce Pass. You know what this means? This means right over here is Montana. I am on the line right now. Got Montana and then Idaho. I am standing on the border, and that also means that I have crossed the Magruder corridor. Almost completely, not entirely. I have just a little more blacktop to go, I think. But I am on the pass, and this feels really cool to have crossed a state line, mostly by dirt. Now, I was on pavement the last 5 miles or so. But it feels really good to have crossed a state by an amazing route that goes through millions of acres of wilderness, and it's unique in that regard. So the Magruder corridor is maybe one to put on your list. It was one I've had on my list for a little while now, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do this route. Now, I wish Kathy would have been with me. Heck, I wish George would have been with me. That would have been super fun. But it's just me this time, and you know, it's fun to have solo adventures too. So I think that's it for this episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And there's going to be a lot more fun episodes coming in the future. I am on the lookout for things like this. So if you have one in mind that I haven't done yet, leave a comment down below. I would love to know what it is. So that's it for today. And until next time, I hope I see you somewhere over the horizon. Take care, guys. We're out of here.